I am going to begin the review for tomorrow's sequence and series quiz, number 1, that covers section 7.1 in general, and 7.2 specifically addressed arithmetic series. Hey, Braden, how are you?
I'm good, Miss Sparks. How you doing?
Good. I was just getting ready to just start working problems because I only have till about 12:30 today.
Okay.
Um,
Do you think we could start with number 6?
I absolutely can start with number 6.
Awesome. Thank you.
Not a problem. All right. So really through 5, 6, 7, and 8, all you're gonna do is plug in where it is in the series. Like, okay, is it the first term, second term, third term, or fourth term? And we're supposed to find the first 4 terms.
Yes, ma'am.
So on that, all you're doing is doing 1 squared minus 1, which equals 0. And then 2 squared, because it would be, a instead of sub n here, that would actually be 1.
Yeah, I remember how to do these in class. I remember doing these, and these were the ones I understood. I just didn't. I meant 9 and 10.
Okay. All right,
9
cool.
through 12 actually were kind of confusing.
Okay. All right, cool. Sometimes, and because there are so many different directions, sometimes it gets a little squirrely. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And
I
that
do.
kind of thing. So just, um, it's good just to be reminded how to do each one. So you're pretty much comfortable 1 through 8, right?
Um. Well, yeah, I had to remember. I had some trouble with 1 through 4. Yesterday, just because 1 through 4, I was just like having to learn all over again because of I didn't really
Yeah.
understand it the first
So
time. But
maybe make a little note to yourself, just, basically all you're doing on that, because you were awesome at this, is just all you're really doing to find those next 3 terms is just like, what's the difference between each one, or, what's the pattern that's going on here?
yes,
And
ma'am.
that's all you're doing on those. And I just remember you being so good at those in class. So, like I say, as you start adding new information, it's like, wow, just remind me, how did we do that again, kind of thing.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Um, okay, on when it's recursive, key thing to remember there is recursive, and I'm trying to think of a good way to remember this, but recursive is when the term a sub n, if you will,
Hmm.
has something to do with either the previous term or even sometimes the previous 2 terms. So in this case, what you will typically see a sub n on one side of the equal sign, and then n minus 1 on the other side of the equal sign, because it has to do with the previous term. And I guess maybe a way to remember it, is the word re, the prefix re, because a lot of times to return to something or revisit or that kind of thing, you're thinking, oh, it has to do with something that's gone on before. So maybe that would be a good way to remember, oh, this is the formula that has to do with a term that's already happened.
Okay.
So how does, 1 associate with 4, and then maybe 4 with 16? Like, what are we seeing going on there?
Multiplying it by 4.
Yeah, perfect. You're a genius.
Thank you.
So basically, what you're looking at is 4 times a n minus 1. Because you're looking at, okay, so that, and just to make sure that we've got it right, let's take a look at it. If we plugged in 4 times 1, we would get 4. And then if we plugged in 4 times 4, we would get 16. And if we plugged in 4 times 16, we would get 64. So we know we're on point there.
Yes,
Can you
ma'am.
read my writing?
I can, but I do have one question. So
Yes, sir.
when it comes to the n minus one and the n part, so like I know we plug in the number. So like I'm kind of confused. Do we plug it in for a or we plug it in for n?
Oh, that's such a good question. Um, you are actually plugging in the like uh, the like when it's a sub n, like when the little n is like at like as a subscript, you're looking for the value of where that one is. And when it's just a big N, you know how sometimes the formula has an N in it?
Yes, ma'am.
You would actually plug in where it is in the sequence. Like, is it the first term, second term, third term, fourth term, fifth term? So when it's a big N, you're actually plugging in where it is in the sequence. When it's this A N minus one, that means that the A is the value at this point. So like, okay, let's look at it more specifically here. If I were saying I want to plug in 16 for A sub n, that's the value of A sub 3. Okay, A3 is 16. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
4 is the term prior to 16. So what's the term prior to the 16 in this series?
The 4.
Uh-huh. So A n minus 1 is 4.
Oh, okay. I understand that now.
Okay. That is such a great question. Really, really good question. And I hope I answered it as well, for you, but like kind of walking through it like that. Because all the A's and the A sub n minus 1 and all of that stuff can get very confusing. And that was really, really great.
Okay,
Um,
thank you.
no problem. On this, okay, so now on number 10, kind of based on that, we know that recursive means, okay, it's going to be based on something that's already happened before. So the A sub n basically is going to be like that next term.
Hello? Miss Sparks, I think your microphone went off.
Or not really.
Hey, Miss Sparks, your microphone just cut off for that whole entire thing, so I didn't hear a single thing you just said.
Oh, okay. All right. So let's see if this is better. How does 2 relate to -4? And can you hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am, I can.
Okay. And how does -4 relate to 8? And how does 8 relate to -16? Can you see a pattern going on? What
It's
would
negative
happen?
2, all by
I'm
negative
sorry?
2. It's
Yes,
all
-2.
multiplying by
Good
negative 2.
job. So then A sub n is being multiplied by -2 A n minus 1, which means the next term, or n for next, maybe that's a good way to think of it, or n for now. In either way, like when you're doing it here, I guess it would be now, and the n here is like this term is -2 times the previous term value. So it's -2 times A n minus 1. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Now, with an explicit formula, those are where you have A sub n equals, and then on the right side, instead of it having to do with the previous term, now we're going to have this n that we talked about, which means it's the place where it happens in the sequence.
Which is, and then that's going to just be the n minus 1 part or the n minus whatever, right?
Well, technically on these, we don't have the n minuses because
Okay.
it really, each term is very specific on its own. So really, each one is almost standalone, except there'll be like either a common difference or a common ratio when it's explicit. So literally, like when I work these out, I write a sub n, and then I've got n, and in this term, it'd be like 1 would be n because this is the n, right? So how would I get to 11 with 1? Typically you would add 10, right?
Yes, ma'am.
But if I plug in a 2, because that's where 13 is, and add 10, that doesn't work, does it?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so then, I would go back kind of the drawing board, or I might have even done this before, but I'm looking at, there's a difference of 2 between each one. So I am seeing a common difference. So I'm going up by 2 every time, right?
Yes, ma'am. So maybe instead of the 1, it should be the 2 that you're going up by. So
Well, I
n
would
equals
have
2.
2n, because that's going to be wherever I am, plus, how would I get from 2 times 1? How would I get to 11?
2 times 5 plus
Like 2 times
1.
1, because remember, I have to have that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the formula somewhere because it's n, which is not the value, but it's the place where it is. Is it in the
Okay.
first place? Is it in the second place? Is it in the third place? See, up here, it's a value. Down here, it's placement. See, up here, the A is in there, and down here, the N is in there. Are you seeing the difference?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So if I would have to add 9.
Yeah.
So if you look at it, A sub 2, 2 times 2 plus 9. That's going to equal 13. So that's right, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And 2 times 1 is 2 plus 9 is 11. And then 2 times 3 is 6 plus 9 is 15. Is that making sense or not really?
No, it makes sense. I get it.
Okay. All right, good. I just wanted to, because with the differences between recursive formula and explicit, the explicit has to do with its position in the sequence, and recursive has to do with the value of like one of the previous terms.
Okay.
All right. So like on number 12, this technically would be like over 1, but obviously negative 25 over 1 reduced is negative 25. So this is really a sub n with negative 25 over n, because the first term is 1, 2.
You cut out again, Miss Sparks. I can't hear you.
25 over 5 reduces to that, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Would you be able to see that one?
Probably not.
And I think just remembering that explicit, like just, I think I even said this yesterday in class. I was talking to one other student closer to the front. I just said, I usually go in and just write, okay, this is the first term, this is the second term, this is the third, like I did here, to remind myself that this has more to do with where it is in the sequence than any of the terms that are dealt with in the sequence.
Yeah.
And this one has to do with that it depends upon one of the numbers in the sequence.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did you want to go over these next ones to expand and evaluate the series
Yes, ma'am. I
here?
would like to.
Okay, on this one, once again, the N stands for like where it is, you know. So we've got terms 1 through 5. And really all it's looking for is N. So that means where is it? Is okay? You know what I mean?
Yes,
Like is
ma'am.
it the first term, the second term? And this always means to add. That summation means to add.
What the sigma sign? Is that
The
what you're
sigma
saying?
sign means we're going to take all of the terms between 1 and 5. We're going to take their values and add them together. So 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 is 15. Because that's all the more complicated the formula was. It was just N itself. 14's a little more complicated, you know, so at
Wait,
least you'll get.
so wait, I'm confused. So it's just gonna be 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5. So all you're doing is just adding all the way till the number above the sigma sign,
Uh-huh.
and then that'll just give you the answer.
Right. You add all of those up. So, but
Oh.
that's because this formula is only N by itself.
Uh,
You know what I'm saying? That's all the formula is. Over here on this one, you're going to have, it says where K equals 1 all the way to 4. So you're going to have 4 total terms because the number of terms is always this number minus this number plus one more. Because if I take 4 minus 1 equals 3 plus 1, that's always how it's going to be. That way, if that bottom number isn't a 1, you know exactly how many terms are going to be in the whole series in order to add them. But in this case, it's pretty easy because it's the number that's on the top, which is 4, because the bottom number is 1.
okay.
But you got to get the value. And to get the value of each one, you would go 1 times 1 minus 1, which that equals 0. Because 1 minus 1 is 0, and 0 times 1 is 0.
So it's all about the
2.
number on the bottom of the sigma? Or no, you're still doing the order stuff like we did last time.
Yeah, I have to find all the values first and then add them together. So the first value is 0. And see, I'm just plugging in where it is in this. Like this is going to be a 2 because now I'm on the second position, number 2, the second number in the sequence. And all you just are plugging in, you know, it's number 2 in the sequence. And to get the value of number 2,
So
I'm going to
I figured it out it's gonna be 0, 2, 6, and 12. And then you add those up.
2. Okay, good. You're ahead of me. You're ahead.
I am for once, Miss Sparks.
No, you're doing great. Okay, so you said 0, 2, 6, and 12.
Yes, ma'am. It's gonna be 20.
You go. You're a genius.
No, I'm really not. Thank
Yeah,
you.
you are. Okay. All right. So now we're going to number 15 through 18. These are pretty straightforward. We're just going to determine if the sequence is arithmetic, and if it is, tell what the common difference is. So to find if it's arithmetic, you just want to see, is the difference between 1 and 2 2 and 3, 3 and 4, are they all the same? Well, to go from 9 to 6, I have to subtract 3. And from go to 6 to 3, I have to subtract 3. So yes, it is different. It is arithmetic, and the difference is -3. And the same here, from here to here and here to here. What's going on? Looks like we're subtracting 7.
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah. So the common difference is -7, and it is arithmetic. And here, number 17, it looks like we're adding 5. So the difference is 5.
That one's not going to be the case. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Might be.
And it is, yeah. Each in between each one, each one it's going up by 5. It's just weird because it's weird looking because it starts with negatives.
Yeah.
And then from 11 to 3 and 3 to -5, looks like we're going down by 8. So it also is arithmetic.
Are all on the quiz tomorrow, are all of them going to be arithmetic?
I can't remember the answer key. Hold on just a second and let me look.
Okay.
So far, how is it?
It's a lot easier than yesterday.
Yeah, I just think like setting down and kind of looking at all of what you've learned. I don't know. Sometimes it just feels weird. It was like, oh my gosh, I knew this so well. I promise it's not too bad though.
Thank you. I just do not want to get a bad grade on this because I got like a 77 in the class or something like that. And I got to keep my grades up if I want to be able to play baseball.
Yeah, I know. You'll do great.
Thank you, Miss Sparks.
I have full faith in you.
Thank you. Did you ever figure out?
No, they're not all arithmetic.
Okay. Awesome. So, did you ever figure out if we're gonna be able to use our notes or no?
Miss Wynn is going to get back to me today because we're going to try to do the same thing for both classes. So my thought is we're either going to let you use your notes or give you the
equation sheet or whatever.
Yes, the formulas. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
I'm thinking
sure we actually have some to be able to use because, like,
I'm thinking if we gave you the formulas and you didn't have to flip through your notes, you'd be less likely to panic.
Honestly, I think I'd be okay if I just had the quiz review.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Like, would that count? If we use notes, would that count as part of my notes? Because I'm taking notes on it.
Oh, there you go. I don't know. That's a good question. Yeah. Or maybe even if you transferred some of your most important ones to a note card.
Yeah.
Because I will definitely email her and then post something on Google Classroom.
Okay. Thank you.
Because she said yesterday when I talked to her, she said she was going to get back to me. She was going to work through the quiz.
Awesome.
And then get back to me about it.
Okay.
But I tried to make the quiz review pretty as similar to the quiz as I possibly could.
But harder.
Yeah, some of them are definitely harder for sure. And somebody asked me yesterday, and I hope they watched the math lab, if there were any fractions. Was that you?
Probably was. You know, I don't like
There is,
fractions.
and I didn't think there was, but there is one with fractions, but I don't think it's that bad.
Okay.
It's not an ugly fraction. And
Well, if it's an ugly one, then I'm just gonna have to skip class.
no, it's not that ugly.
Okay.
It's not bad at all. I think it's pretty easy to identify anyway.
Okay.
All right. So find the common difference, and then the term named in the problem, and the explicit formula. So we know these are arithmetic. So what we want to do is, when you're looking at that, what does it take to go from 24 to 19 and 19 to 14? What am I doing?
Well,
And
24 minus 19 gives you 5, and 19 minus 14 is 5. And so you're going to do
we're going
A,
down by 5.
AN equals, are we writing an equation for this too?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so AN is going to equal -5 times N, right? N minus 1, okay. So
And then the next step is just good old algebra, where you're distributing that -5 throughout the parenthesis.
minus 1, so that's going to get you, let's see, 20 minus 1 is 19, so -5 times 19 is -95. Oh, what'd you do?
I had to get the formula first, or that's what I choose to do. Is
Wait,
I
where
get
did you get the 24 from?
the first term.
You got to add the first term?
Yes, sir.
Oh, so I
The
got
formula is AN equals D times nice D N minus 1 plus A sub 1, right?
yeah.
That would be one of the formulas that I'm hoping that maybe she would give y'all. But what I try to do whenever I'm doing a review and I know I'm about to take a test is I try to write it as many times as I possibly can to keep it in my brain, if
Yeah,
at
I
all
got you.
possible.
So what you did is you did AN.
Okay, so I did A sub N equals -5 times N minus 1 plus 24.
Yeah.
So basically, I just plugged in everything, like A sub N just goes there. And then you and I determined that the common difference was -5. And then you have N minus 1 plus 24, which 24 is the value of A sub 1. And then I distribute that -5 to everything inside the parenthesis. So -5N, and then -5 times a -1 is +5 plus 24.
I'm
And
really
now I'm going to
confused.
combine like terms, that 5 and that 24. And so now I have my explicit formula.
Where'd you get um the +5 and
-5 times -1. When I distribute that 5 into there. See that?
that's a multiplication sign in the middle of that?
No, it's
Oh,
negative.
oh, oh,
It's
oh.
-5 times, and then the parentheses is N minus 1. So I have to distribute the
All right,
-5 to everything inside the parentheses.
I got you.
So now I have -5N plus 29. And now I can find 20, A sub 20, the value of the 20th term. That's what A sub 20 means, by taking -5, multiplying it by 20, and adding 29. So that's going to be a negative 100 plus 29, which is negative 71.
Cool. So let me try number 20 real quick. So we're going to do, it's going up by 3. So D equals positive 3. So then you're going to take AN equals 3 and N minus 1. And then you're going to multiply that out and then plus 17. So you're going to get A sub N equals negative 3 and then plus 17. And then you're going to get, yeah, wait. Yeah, that's it for that, right? Yeah.
3n plus 14, is that what you got?
No, I didn't get 14.
Did you distribute?
Oh, yeah. Oh, hold on.
This time you had a positive 3 to distribute. So I had 3n minus 3. Because when I distribute,
what you do is you keep the positive 3n, and just like you kept the positive 5n, and then you also got the negative. Oh, that makes more sense. And then plus 17.
Over here in number 19, the common difference was a negative difference. So it was a negative 5. So when I distribute it to the negative inside the parentheses, it became positive.
Gotcha.
But over here, my common difference is a positive common difference. So when I distribute inside there, it's a negative. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
$74 is your answer.
Good job. You beat me.
Yay.
And then you also got your explicit formula, which was this one down here. And we also got our common difference. So that was all of the things that we were supposed to do.
Awesome.
All right. So how do you feel about those? Better?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Okay, so if the given terms are part of an arithmetic sequence, write a rule for the sequence and then find the indicated term. So on this one, what we want to do first is find the common difference. And to find the common difference, you're going to actually plug in the value for this term way out here. So A sub 5, plugging in the value. And then we don't know what the common difference is. So we're going to go ahead and plug in D because we know that to be the variable for the common difference. But inside here, we know that common difference is going to happen however many times between 5 and 1, right?
How'd you do the 5? Oh, wait.
Right here, 5.
I see what
1.
I see.
And then you're going to add, because you know that that's what, technically, this is going to be the value of, like, you're kind of trying to indicate the value of the previous term here, really, and then adding 38. So you've got that common difference times the fourth term, if you will, plus 38. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Oh my gosh, thank God. So we'll subtract 38 from both sides. So now you have 40, I've got to write up here, equals 4D. And then divide both sides by 4. So our common difference is 10. And so now we need to write a rule. So we've done that previously. And we know how to do that. Whoops, didn't mean to write D again. 10 is our common difference. N minus 1 plus 38. Because this step right here is exactly like all the steps that we were doing on 19 and 20. The only thing that we had to do differently here is find the common difference because we were given two terms. So we use those two terms to find the common difference instead of using, a number of terms in the sequence like we did on 19 and 20.
So your formula is going to be a sub n equals 10 n minus 28.
Perfect. Good job. And now to find the value of the 39th term, which that's what that means, you would multiply 10 times 39 minus 28. So 390 minus 28. Or plus 28. My bad. I'm sorry.
You're good. It's 418.
Yep. Perfect. Okay, so on number 22, following that same pattern of what we did, we have to find that common difference.
Yeah, can
So
I
we're
try
going to
this one and then I'll race you?
absolutely. Do you want to tell me what to do and me write it down or
I'll just do it on my paper and then you can do it at the same time and I'll race
okay.
you for it.
All right. I feel like that's a challenge,
It is a challenge.
but I'm sure you'll win.
Honestly, you
I'm
probably will.
slow. And writing on this screen, Lord Jesus, please help Miss Sparks. Just a word of caution to you on this one. When I did it yesterday and today, make sure that you're watching your signs on that because there's a lot of negatives going on.
Yes, ma'am. I got a decimal number. Did you get a decimal number?
No, sir, I did not. But the first time I did it, I did
You know what
because
I
of my
did?
negatives.
No, I know what I did wrong. I did 7. I did 6 instead of 7.
Oh, again, first time I did it, I did 9. So we were all over the place. Don't you love it when you make simple math mistakes and you've got all this stuff going on? You're like, Lord Jesus, I need to not make those simple math mistakes right now.
You know it.
I don't even think you can read my writing.
I'm trying to read my own, actually.
Oh, I'm like, what did I write?
I feel bad for all my teachers that have to read my work.
Actually, I think your handwriting's pretty good on your tests and stuff.
Well, for my numbers are actually kind of decent, but my letters are not. Like when I'm writing the words and sentences, it's no bueno.
No bueno.
No, ma'am.
Did you ever get a common difference on that one?
I did. It was a negative 100.
Yes, sir.
So I'm just putting it in now. And
Yeah, I was going to say, I hope you can read my writing. I'm looking at this up here and I circled my answer and I think it made it look worse.
I'm not even looking at it. I'm just doing it on my own paper. Trying to
Good for you.
same answer as you are.
And this is my third time doing it. So hopefully, you know,
I got you.
hopefully I'm right, you know.
You probably are.
I've consistently the first time actually the first time yesterday I did it, I got the right answer. It was today before going into math lab that I got the wrong answer. I was like, this doesn't feel right because I don't remember getting a decimal yesterday.
Yep.
So I've actually worked the review 3 times.
Negative 1982.
No, I got negative
Or
1918.
1918, yeah, that's
Oh,
fine.
okay. I was gonna say, yeah, the 82. I got you. I got where you would have said that though, because and then you got for your explicit formula negative 100 n plus 82.
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Cool. You're a genius.
No, I'm not. Thank you, though.
Yeah, you're doing great.
Thank you,
Okay.
Miss.
This number 23 is a weird one because the common difference is 10 because you can see that it's going up by 10. And the number of terms that it wants you to find is 10. So this one gets a little wonky. So it's going to look weird with all the 10s in it. But what we're trying to do, because in order to evaluate an arithmetic series, you need to have the value of the first term in the series and the value of the last term that you're trying to find. And in this case, it's the 10th term. So you're looking for the value of a sub 10. So our common difference is 10.
You said.
I'm sorry?
It's 12:33, and you said you had to go at 12:30.
I know. But I hate to leave you hanging at this point.
No,
You're so
no.
sweet to
It's
think about
completely okay. I think I can figure it all out.
Do you?
Yes, ma'am. I don't want
Because
to.
I don't mind doing one more of these.
It's totally good. You gotta go. You said you gotta go. I don't want to keep you.
Yeah, I know, but it makes me feel guilty.
No, you don't.
Because you're still asking questions.
No, it's totally good.
If I do number 23 and 25 with you, and then I'll go.
Just 23.
All right.
I'll figure out 24 and 25.
Well, 24 is going to be a lot like 23, but 25, it's significant because, see, that bottom number rocks everything.
Okay. Yeah, I'll figure it out. It's all good, Miss Sparks.
But I'm just going to work these quickly. So your value is 112. Then your summation formula is S sub n equals n times A1 plus A, and I'll just say L over 2. So in this case, it means the sum is 10 times the first term, 22, the value of the first term, plus the value of the last term in the series divided by 2. So 22 plus 112 is 134 divided by 2. So that's 67. So the sum for that is 670. For this one, I need to find the number of terms is going to be 37 minus 3, which equals 34, plus 1 equals 35. So that is the number of terms in this sequence. And the value of the third term is 3 times 3 is 9, plus 3 is 12. So I've got 35 times 12 plus the value of the 37th term is 114. All divided by 2. So that's going to be 126 divided by 2, which is 63. And 35 times 63 is 2,205. That was quick, but
Yeah, it
did
was.
it make, I know,
Like
did
a
it
new
make
world
sense
record.
though?
Yes, ma'am, it did. Thank you so much. I
Not a
appreciate you.
problem. Did it make sense how I got the 35?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. That's the part that I really was worried about. So, I'm going to post the answers
Okay.
on Google Classroom so that you have them.
Yes, ma'am.
Uh, and if you have any other questions, please email me.
I will. Thank you again, Miss Sparks.
No problem. Have a blessed day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.